Hello YouTube, my name is Josh and I want to welcome you to our channel. Today we're here to talk about Vortex. So let's just start by talking about what Vortex actually is. So Vortex is a cloud gaming service. It costs $9.99 per month for 100 hours of gaming. You can play it on your PC with Windows and you can enjoy it on your Android devices. Now in this video, we're going to show you what Vortex looks like right now, today in 2019, and then after we show you some gameplay, we're going to talk about what comes next for Vortex, and we have an exciting announcement to make that will impact the future of both Vortex and its subscribers. So let's start by showing you what it looks like today, and then stick around, we've got more coming. Alright, so before we talk about what's coming, let's talk just a little bit about those videos so that you understand a couple details about how Vortex is today. It should have been pretty clear from the videos that Vortex still performs quite a bit better on Android than it does on the computer. When you looked at the Windows footage of playing Apex, you probably noticed that the mouse was kind of jittery at some points and jumped around a little bit. And I will say that when you're actually playing, it's not quite that noticeable, but it's definitely there. It's important to point out that even with that mouse jitter, Vortex has still improved quite a bit when it comes to their Windows client. If you look at our videos from 2018 where we covered Vortex, in many cases we couldn't play the games at all, and there were heavy queues and all kinds of things that got in the way, so this is definitely an improvement on that front. In addition to what we showed you in those videos, there's a few more things that you should know about who Vortex is today. So to begin with, you have to know a little bit of history about Vortex. So Vortex was started by a group of 2 developers. It's the continuation of another product called Remoter, and it's kind of the evolution of Remoter. So Remoter was just for streaming from your own computer to another device, and then Vortex takes things to the next level. It's a fully cloud-based service that doesn't require you to own a computer whatsoever. So that's really the continuation of that product. Historically, Vortex has been limited in 2 big ways. One is that they're powered by an older M60 GPU, which means that you're really limited in the quality of what you can do, and because of that, you can only stream it up to 720p when you use Vortex. Another interesting detail is that Vortex actually diversified a little bit too much in the beginning. So you could play Vortex on Android, you could play it through a dedicated Windows client, and then they had a second Windows client that was just for Windows 10, and then on top of all that, you could play Vortex through a Chrome browser, so there was a lot of ways to play it. The problem is that it's hard to develop that many things when you have such a small team. So let's fast forward to today, and let's talk about how things are changing. So one big change is that Vortex is getting ready to decommission both their Chrome browser client and the Windows 10 dedicated client. So moving forward, there's going to be the Android version, and then there's going to be their dedicated client for Windows, just not the one from the Windows Store. It's going to be the one from their website. Outside of making some changes to their clients, Vortex is changing in other ways as well. To begin with, they're expanding their team. So now, their team is already more than 3 times larger than it was in the beginning. So it's still a small team, but it's getting bigger, so they have more resources to develop more things. In addition to that, Vortex is making some changes to how the streaming is handled as a whole. So in the beginning, Vortex was powered by a version of TCP. It's a protocol that handles how data gets from point A to point B. TCP historically is all about safety, so it's about making sure that the data is received in exactly the same condition that it was sent. The downside is that when TCP is used, streaming can be kind of a secondary thing. It's all about the data itself. So you see TCP used the most for like backups and for things where data can't be changed in any way. Now Vortex knows this, and they're switching things over to a UDP-based formula that is more about how the stream performs. So they're making sure that things are received on a regular basis, and it's really more about just performance in general. So that's something that they started rolling out already, and they're working on that now. So they're going to improve that and continue to make that better moving forward. And that leads us into the announcement that we teased at the beginning of the video. Vortex is officially partnering with IBM Cloud. Now, you might already be familiar with IBM. They're a pretty big name in the tech industry, but what you might not know is that IBM has a really big cloud network that can be used to power cloud gaming. So let's talk about Vortex and how this partnership will affect them moving forward. The first bit of good news is that IBM's partnership with Vortex is live right now. They're starting to integrate them into their existing network, and what you'll notice is that when you game on Vortex today, you shouldn't really have any kind of wait or queue system like you've had in the past. It may still happen occasionally because this integration is in progress as we speak, but it's something that should be greatly improved. And I can honestly report, after having tested Vortex over the past few days, I didn't run into any sort of queue at any point when I tested them. So that's a huge step forward, and it's really encouraging. Now, while reducing queues is a big step and a really important one, it's actually not the most exciting piece of news that comes out of this partnership. Earlier in the video, we mentioned that Vortex is currently powered by the older M60 GPU. So when you think about the M60, it's really similar to the low-end tier that you might have played with something like Liquid Sky. It's capable of cloud gaming, it can power 720p experiences, but it's on the lower end, so you won't be able to turn graphics way up. It's kind of a medium gaming experience. Now that Vortex is powered by IBM, they plan to make some changes. So in the near future, and we're talking as soon as maybe even a month away, Vortex plans to upgrade their network and start using the Tesla T4 GPU. And when you compare the T4 to the older M60, it's a dramatic improvement. It'll be enough to power 1080p experiences, and you should be able to bump your graphics up to high or even ultra in some cases. We don't have a date yet for when this will all happen, but Vortex feels like it's going to be sooner than later, and we'll share more information as soon as it's available. And for now, that's about everything that we have to share today. So just be aware of what Vortex is and really understand the value that's being offered here. Vortex prides itself on being the absolute most affordable cloud gaming option by a large margin. The next closest competitor is almost $20 more per month. And like you saw in the videos, there are definitely continuing opportunities, especially on the PC side. These are all things that Vortex is aware of. The upgrades to the GPU and the continued development of their new UDP protocol should help quite a bit in that regard. On the flip side, Vortex offers one of the best cloud gaming experiences on Android, and even if you're subscribing just to play on Android and not on PC at all, you're still getting your money's worth. It's great on that platform. And that's going to about wrap up this video. If you're going to play on Android, it's definitely something that we recommend for that purpose. If you're considering it for PC, just realize that some changes are coming that should greatly improve that side of it, and it's something that may be worth looking into in the future. And we'll let you know as soon as we know more about those emerging details and when everything comes together. Until next time, my name is Josh, and you guys have a good one.